to another episode of the Rebel Radio Podcast. How's it going?
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello. That's become our new
Number
official
6.
intro of the show.
Yeah.
Hello, hello, hello.
Doing pretty good,
Hello.
except for this house smelling like shoe polish.
It smells like shoe polish?
It just smells like shoe polish in here.
I'm taking a deep
polish?
breath in your house. I'm not coughing at all.
I changed the air filters, you bastards.
You notice the difference?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm Claritin clear.
And I haven't farted as much today, so
There you go.
good. Yeah. But how are y'all's weeks so far?
Really good. I had a really good start. Matt was there at my Royal Rumble party.
Yes.
I
And
apologize for not making it, but
It's okay. That's understandable. We all know.
Yeah.
But other than that, it was fun. Cooked a ton of spaghetti.
Yes, and that was good spaghetti too.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. I perfected
Sounds
it.
like he was going to make love to your spaghetti there. He's like, oh, yes, it was good.
I'd be offended if he didn't.
I know. I believe it,
I
man.
thought you were
Just
going to
like,
go with, so you put his noodle in your mouth?
If you did that, I mean,
It's pretty stiff.
Yeah,
But,
and
needs
there
a
were
little moisture.
meatballs.
Needs some moisture.
so how does it feel to be in the 40 Club?
I spit in the eye of being 40, and my reaction was I went and splurged on a ton of Transformers toys.
There you go.
Nice.
A ton.
I feel like 40 at first when I hit it. I was like, man, this fucking sucks. I'm like, my 30s are going. My party years are gone. Not that I was partying much anyways. I was, fathered and everything. But like now, a couple years later, I've reflected on it, and I feel like I think I'm more ruggedly handsome in my 40s than I was in my 30s. I think I'm a sexy motherfucker.
You age like George
You know?
Clooney or something?
Yeah. And
Got pepper in your hair?
yeah,
Salt and pepper.
Yeah, that's
And,
what I meant.
you get a swagger about you. You get to a point, you'll understand, Matt, in a few years, that one, you don't give a fuck anymore. You're just like, whatever.
It's true.
You go with it. Two, you're I've been very shy my whole life, but you get more confidence as you get older, and you do gain it, and you get this swagger and this confidence about you didn't have as you get older. And the biggest rule, number one, is you just stop fucking caring.
Yeah.
You just go for it every day.
There was one time on Facebook, I shared a picture of me and Jackie. We went skeet shooting, and just like, oh, we're gonna have to go again. And then my uncle posts on there, I had sex on the beach this morning, and I'm like, what? It's my dad's brother. And so, my other family members are like, why are you saying that? And he's like, well, it happened. He's like, well, we're not doubting it didn't happen, but why would you respond to this picture like that? I mean, and he's like, when you're my age, you don't need a reason. And I was like,
Does he
heck,
mean
man?
that as the cocktail? Because there is a cocktail named Sex on
Yeah.
the Beach.
No, he was really like adamant on that he had sex on the beach in Aruba. Because he travels a lot.
I've always thought that's weird because, like, you see that in the movies, right?
Yeah.
Like people have sex on the beach or in the bathroom, but in reality, the beach is sandy and coarse and nasty, and bathrooms are fucking gross.
They are.
I wouldn't want to have sex in a bathroom.
Yeah, just step on like a diaper or something.
Unless you're in
Yeah.
Japan.
Is that-
My sister went to Japan this year, and she said that like all the public bathrooms are so clean,
Yeah.
so she felt so confident just using Japanese.
So, like, well, I
public.
guess in Texas, a Buc-ee's bathroom might be the place to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bucky's bathroom.
Yeah,
That wouldn't be bad.
yeah, but watched the Royal Rumble, and it was fun. It was definitely fun.
Yeah.
As I mentioned earlier, splurged on a ton of Transformers. I'll show you a picture of it, before I get home. Remind me of that. That's why I brought my cell phone, so it's just
Yeah.
But and there's more on the way. My wallet's crying right now.
Yeah.
So,
Cool.
but I got some gift cards too to help alleviate the cost.
Good
That's
deal.
good.
Yeah. So
Well, welcome to 40, sir.
thank you.
It's fine. You'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
remember, Tom Cruise is still jumping out of airplanes at 50 something, so we can do it.
This is true. And falling off of motorcycles on purpose.
Yeah. Tom Cruise. Matt, how's your week?
It's been
All
good.
good. We saw Disturbed.
Yeah, we saw Disturbed. That was probably the coolest part.
Yeah.
And my wife finished up her birthday month by going out this past Friday and staying out.
What is a birthday month? A birthday's only a day.
I guess it's something that
she stay out till like 2.
Yeah, she stayed out till 2.
Does she come home and wake you up?
Does she wear a tiara all month too?
Yeah, that would be pretty hilarious if she did.
This is my birthday.
It's my birthday month.
And this is my crown. You better treat me the way she does that neck thing.
The neck thing. But yeah, it was a really fun week. I liked the concert. 3 Days Grace was actually pretty good. I had forgotten how many songs they actually sing, and so I was like, oh, they're gonna sing like one song, and then that's gonna be it. And I'm like, oh wow, I know more 3 Days Grace songs than I thought I did.
Well, I thank you for buying the tickets.
Yeah.
I wish I remembered more. I'm not going to get into my week on the show because the show should be fun, but my week has been absolutely horrendous.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting is a good word, and but it's personal details I'm not going to divulge on the Rebel Radio.
Well, I
podcast.
will. No, I'm joking.
And, but I did
Wow.
I did enjoy to get away, even if I don't remember much from Monday night.
Yeah.
And it wasn't because of drinking or anything like that at a concert. It's just things going on. But other than that, my week has been a strong dose of reality. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
You have to adult
Yes.
this week. Hard.
Very much so. Maybe
Adulting.
harder than I've
Yes.
ever had to in my life.
Yeah.
And but thankfully, to good friends and family, I will get through this and be stronger for it. And the show will go on. And because I need a sense of normalcy in my life, and that's why we are recording the show for all our wonderful listeners out there. As we move forward into 2019, it's a new month. It's February. You know, we got a lot of stuff planned. We got a lot of cool things coming up. We're going to do probably a theme month in March.
Mm-hmm.
Then in April, we're going to get ready for Comicpalooza 2019, where we will be there doing a live show from Comicpalooza. That
Yes,
should be
you
fun.
and Matt will be there.
Yes.
And you will be
What?
there.
No.
Yes.
I'll lend you my equipment.
We'll talk later.
Yeah,
It's
we'll
called,
talk.
It's called being a germaphobe.
We'll kidnap.
Every time I go to a con, I always catch some kind of
We'll
bug.
kidnap you. Don't be a bitch.
No, yeah, I will
Maybe
be a
you can
bitch.
catch a fun bug like gonorrhea or syphilis.
Yeah,
Yeah, at least you have some bragging rights.
I don't know if that would be fun. Drippy penis and shit. I mean,
Burns when I pee.
oh, that's kind of disturbing.
Be like Godzilla, except out of
But,
your pee hole.
Thou shalt not put Godzilla and pee hole in one sentence. That's blasphema.
Oh, man.
I wish there was a Church of Godzilla.
There should
You
be.
could create one.
You have
They have
an
freaking
idea?
cowboy church out there and shit in Texas
And
here.
Jedi Church
Yeah.
in
You-
London.
Yep.
Church of Godzilla.
Church of-
Started by Long, the evil Dr. Tran.
We shall worship the radioactive one,
The radioactive one.
His fire is the breath of heaven.
the breath of baptism. All right.
Might be onto something,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And
No.
but
Tax-free life for the rest of my life.
yeah,
Text for life.
we're gonna talk a really fun movie today, though, here in a bit. So that'll be good. Very funny movie, one of my favorites. But before we get into that, are we ready to start the show?
We are.
Are we
Yeah.
ready?
Super Bowl weekend.
Super Bowl weekend.
Super Bowl.
Who's your pick?
Yeah,
gotta
let's do it. We can do picks real quick.
prediction.
I'm picking Patriots.
Same.
Yeah.
I got to go with Rams.
Yeah.
Yeah, just because to be different from
And-
the choices.
You know, most years I don't pick the Patriots, but I'm never picking against Brady again after he came from behind against the Falcons here in Houston a couple
Yeah.
years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I'll never pick against him ever again.
Did he lose last year?
He did.
He did.
But even then, I will never pick against him. You know, just he's
They
just
were always in it.
Yeah.
I picked the Rams, but I know intellectually the Patriots might win this because they might feel resentment from last year for losing.
Yeah.
And I don't think they want to repeat that feeling again.
Yeah.
That's right.
So
Yeah. And yeah, it's nice to see new blood in the Super Bowl, and it'd be nice to have a new Super Bowl quarterback. But just think, maybe if Brady wins, he just leaves, and we have
He
this.
won't. He reiterated an interview the other day. He's playing till 45.
how old is he now?
He will be 41 soon. I think
Oh.
he just turned 40.
Huh.
He has
could
a,
How
do it.
old was Peyton Manning?
he was about 40
Yeah, I want to say
because he was 39.
Favre was
'cause-
41.
yeah,
But that's a different gameplay.
Well, Brady says, he said the other day in an interview, there's zero chance I'm retiring. I'm playing until I'm 45 if I can.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's his goal. He said, I set that as my goal.
If his supermodel wife is glomping off of him, I would.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. I just assumed she spent all her money before she went.
There's your Liam Neeson.
See, look, that
Snowplow movie.
Cold.
We were talking about
Pursuit.
pre-show.
There we go.
I might check that movie out.
But
What the heck?
Yeah,
This is crazy.
we were watching Liam Neeson Cold Pursuit trailer on the TV while we were recording. We were talking about a pre-show.
I think he picked it because of the hokey premise of it.
He probably could.
Yeah.
You know, Liam Neeson was a former bare knuckle boxer in Ireland and shit.
Wow.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And then someone discovered him and put him in a movie, and the rest is history,
Wow.
as they say. But yeah. I wonder what commercials we'll get during the Super Bowl. You know, Disney already said there will be no Star Wars, which we already knew.
If I was Disney, I wouldn't put my on a different network.
Yeah.
I mean, so many at a price of $5.1 million, so many studios are backing out. Lionsgate fully planned on debuting John Wick during the Super Bowl. But then when the price came out, that's why we got the trailer a couple weeks ago. They were like, you know what, we're just going to put it out now. I think that's a hefty. I mean, if your budget on a film is $75 million, and people don't realize some of that's advertising costs too. You're $5 million for a commercial for a movie, especially if it's a movie you know it's going to be a hit. You know, I could see them doing a movie that's not like if you're Disney, maybe something like Artemis Fowl that's not as big on their profile this year.
You don't want to spend all your Artemis Fowl budget on that.
Maybe Toy Story 4, something that
I'm actually looking forward to that.
That's there. We know it's coming, but they haven't done a lot of marketing for it. So maybe Super Bowl's a perfect time for a Toy Story 4 commercial.
Yeah.
Maybe something like that, you know, from Disney. I'm sure, though, there's always a surprise. Every year at Super Bowl, there's some movie surprise we don't expect. So we'll see what we get, you know, we'll find out tomorrow night.
I'm crossing my fingers for another Godzilla one, but I doubt it.
Yeah, it's possible.
It is possible.
Did Legendary buy for Kong Skull Island a couple of years ago? Super Bowl, I can't remember if they did. I think they did. Yeah. I want to say they did. So
for a March release movie? I don't think so.
Yeah.
For a summer movie, they would, but not for a March release movie.
It just feels like maybe they did. I don't know. Maybe. I'd have to go back and look. So who knows? We shall see.
We shall see.
Yeah. Speaking of which, do you own a copy of Transformers the movie, animated movie? Mm-hmm. I might want to borrow that. So I've been in a Transformers kick, obviously.
Yeah, I've got it.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's get into what we've watched this week. We always start the show with Download This, where we tell people what we streamed, watched, downloaded. As always, Matt, no porn.
Oh,
you know, but so what content did you guys consume into your brains this week?
I watched the one of the free movies that was on Vudu, and Cabin in the Woods happened to be on there, and my sister-in-law hasn't seen it, and I told her, I was like, you gotta see it. It's a different kind of horror movie. It's actually kind of funny in some parts, and you know, makes fun of the stereotype, borrows a lot from other horror films, and I was like, it's enjoyable. I was like, it's
a great premise. Like a lot of Cabin in the Woods for me is a movie that had a lot of really cool ideas, but didn't quite come together right for me. You know, but the last 20 minutes is batshit fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I will give it that.
Especially all the cameos.
Yeah. Those last 20 minutes with the cameos and all the blood and craziness, that is really cool. It's the best 20. It's one of the best 20 minutes in a horror movie in years. I'll give it that. But I just felt like I wanted more with that movie, you know? And then, of course, it ends where there's never going to be a sequel because the world is destroyed.
Yes.
Oh, shit, I spoiled it. But, you know, whatever.
Oops, the world exploded.
Yeah. But anyway.
Yeah. Sigourney Weaver's in it, wasn't she?
She is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. It was a really cool premise. It's one
that was a cool cameo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember watching it and not knowing what to expect from it, and I was like, cool stuff. Anything else you consumed?
Pretty much it.
Have you guys seen Be Kind and Rewind?
Be Kind and Rewind. Isn't that what they put on the Blockbuster boxes?
They used to.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a Michael Gondry movie, and it's about stars Jack Black and Mos Def, and they own the video store, and Jack Black accidentally deleted all the videotapes in the movie because he became static by accident, and he erased all the movies, and they spent like a good punch of the movie just remaking the movies on the shoestring budget.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a very, very, it's a great movie for people who love watching movies. And so the term,
movie.
you ever seen the term on the internet, sweeted?
Sweeted?
Yeah.
Not really.
SWEDED, sweeted. Oh yeah, they sweeted that movie. Basically, it was that term came from that movie where it's like the bootleg version of, it's. I highly recommend it if you ever get a chance. If it's on Vudu,
I've heard of it. I just don't
Be
think I've ever
Kind,
seen it.
Rewind.
Be Kind and Rewind.
Yeah, Be Kind.
Is this a
and
little?
Rewind.
It's not old, but a
It's
little
an
bit
indie
older.
movie.
It's a few
about
years
10
older.
years
It's back
old.
when Jack Black was actually doing pretty good stuff and not doing Jumanji remakes.
Yeah.
Yes. Jumanji.
Also, this is kind of niche, but World of Warships, a free-to-play game, dropped a aircraft carrier rework, and there's some big drama surrounding it because, So I was playing a lot of that, and then watched a bunch of Transformers, how to transform videos, because I bought a bunch of secondhand Transformers figures, and I was
So
like,
you'll
how
be
do I
good enough
transform
to
this
make
thing?
them.
I don't want to break it, so.
Make the videos now. You have to start teaching other people once you get the hang of it.
Yeah, and I didn't realize how big the fan base is
Yeah.
for the
Oh, yeah.
Transformers, and there are podcasts of people talking about toy releases and the comics.
There's
and-
Star Wars toy release podcast too. It's crazy.
Yeah.
There's a Generation 1 Transformers group on Facebook that I'm actually in, and it's very active. I see people every day talking about Transformers.
Really? Yeah. I just joined a club that meets every 2 weeks and talk about Transformers, which
Yeah.
I'll do. And man, Transformers is the one toy to me that just clicks with me for some reason.
Yeah.
And it's a half puzzle, half
Robot.
action figure, and
Did
I
you
just
see the
love it.
Toys That Made Us episode on
No,
Netflix?
I haven't.
Where they talk Transformers.
I should look it up.
Toys That Made Us is a great little documentary series on Netflix. Lots of different
I'll check it out.
characters. And speaking of niche, Spider-Man on PlayStation 4 released 2 new costumes. To free.
Yeah?
They released whenever Spider-Man helps out the Fantastic Four and puts Bombastic Bagman puts a bag over his head. They released that costume and then a Future Foundation costume. So that was kind of cool.
Was that a white and black one?
Yeah, it's white and black. So they
okay.
released that, and apparently they just sort of put it out there.
Yeah.
And people were logging in today and saying, "Oh, I have new costumes." I guess it came out last night.
Freaking Insomniac is awesome.
And I despite my life this week, I sat down and watched E.T. And I've been on a Spielberg kick lately.
Okay.
I loved Ready Player One. It was one of my favorite movies last year. I know people knocked on it. I adore the movie already, and it's only a year old. So I watched Close Encounters a couple weeks ago, and which is still such an amazing film. It's very slow by today's standards, Close Encounters, but it's a film about discovery and about wonderment. And then I watched E.T., and I hadn't watched E.T. in so long. I had never seen the special edition.
Okay.
But it's
Me neither.
amazing what they do. The CGI work they did on Star Wars was really good for the special edition. They fixed problems with the puppet. E.T. is seamlessly in the movie now and doesn't look as stiff
How did you see it? The movie?
on Blu-ray.
Blu-ray.
Oh,
Yeah.
you own it?
Yeah, I picked it up in Big Lots for $5 on Steelbook
Wow.
and on Blu-ray. So I grabbed it. I think it's sitting right there somewhere in that pile of movies. And
Dracula, The Mummy.
it's not the special edition where they complain about the walkie-talkies being the guns. This actually has the guns back in it, but it's the special edition with all the CG effects on E.T. And it's such a remarkable movie. I hadn't watched it in so long, but E.T. is really good. It's Spielberg from a time there from making Jaws to Close Encounters, E.T. to Raiders of the Lost Ark. He almost could do no wrong. He was making some remarkable films in the late 70s and 80s.
Him and George Lucas.
Yeah.
King of the Worlds.
And I was really surprised how much I enjoyed E.T. having not watched it in a long time, because I think as I got older, I dismissed it as more of a kiddie film.
Yeah.
But it's a really, really well done movie. And
Did you watch it by yourself? Or?
no, the boys were in here with me. They had never seen it before, and they liked it.
Yeah.
And even Wyatt, who's only 3, was engaged by it. He
Yeah.
maybe didn't sit there the whole time, but he was like, "Oh, Daddy's going to go home," and he got really excited and
Yeah.
everything. And really, really good film. And Spielberg, man, he is one of our great directors. one of the best we've ever had, and he's still making good stuff. And like I said, I love Ready Player One. I think I probably watched it 7 or 8 times in a year since it's been out. I thought it was really good.
Well, I'm glad you're watching it for me.
Yes.
Did you watch Ready Player One?
Oh, I've seen it twice.
Yeah.
The first time I liked it. It was okay. The second time it didn't hold up for me.
Yeah. I guess since I read the book, I have an appreciation for it,
okay.
And it is different from the book, but that's okay,
Mm-hmm.
Just a few things.
And I'm trying to think, did I watch anything else this week? But it feels like the only thing I really watched was E.T. Revisiting a classic.
Not a bad revisit.
But trying to watch. I've been doing that a lot, trying to watch old stuff and rediscover some things, and plus get ideas for future episodes of the podcast.
Yeah.
And things like that. So
yeah,
we all consumed a little content this week. Not as much as some weeks.
Yeah,
but
a little bit of content.
Some weeks, man, I just soak it in. I'll watch stuff every day, and then some weeks it's just like
There's one movie I still want to watch that I haven't watched in a long time. And it's Friday.
Friday.
Yeah. Anyways,
Smokey,
half dead. Motherfucker.
Come on, Smokey. My mama gave me that chain.
It's a good old classic.
Yeah.
I actually I have a Friday story. Now that you mentioned it, the sequel came out, man. Next Friday or whatever it's called. Friday after.
Is that the one with the Hispanics?
Yeah, and so I was like, I can't remember why, but I decided to go to the movie theater by myself, and I remember it came out against some other big film. I remember that.
Yeah.
I think what I wanted to, this was the days before pre-sale tickets, so what I wanted to see was sold out. It's like, well, I guess I'll go see the Friday sequel. And I walk in there, and I'm not kidding you, I'm the only white guy in the theater. I'm like, and this is right over here at Tinseltown by our house, and I'm all like, okay, well, fuck it, let's do this. So I go and I sit down quietly in the seat next to this big old Hans. He's like, what's up, man? I'm like, nothing, just watching the movie. He goes, I remember him cracking a joke like, "Man, does it feel weird to be the only white guy here?" And I'm like, a little bit, but it's just a movie. He's like, "No, it's all good, man. You're gonna have a good time watching this movie." And it was just like,
and was it a good time?
I remember enjoying it. If you ever see a movie with a black audience, they're very vocal. They're laughing and making noises.
They very interact.
You would think it takes away from the movie, but if you put yourself in that environment, you just go with it. It doesn't.
It makes it more enjoyable.
It's different than a kids or people being annoying in a movie on purpose. It's like, and they know when to shut up in the right parts. That's the thing. They're still watching the movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like the lady when I saw the first Guardians of the Galaxy, and she was laughing like a fucking hyena every time Chris Pratt opened his mouth. I'm like, good Lord, it's not that funny.
Yeah.
That's the annoying stuff when people do that.
Yeah. Last time I had that experience was watching The Waterboy.
The Waterboy.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, watching a above average comedy. You watch it with an audience that's ready to laugh. It just makes the whole experience so much
absolutely
more different.
Yeah, and there's some like movies that do that, like you go see a Tarantino movie in the theater. There's certain people that watch a Tarantino movie and they get some of the dark humor in it, and they laugh at the right moments, and you realize, oh, it's okay to laugh at this, because there's some really dark humorous moments like in Django Unchained, and then people think you can't laugh at it, but Tarantino wants you to laugh at certain things, and so sometimes it makes a good theater going experience.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, so today we are talking a movie that just turned 25 years old, a movie that is very important to me. It may not be my favorite Kevin Smith film, because I think that's probably Mallrats, or I really like Clerks too. I really like the sequel a lot. But man, we're talking Clerks today, the 1994 classic, directed by Kevin Smith, who is the podfather. He's made podcasting very popular. He's my hero when it comes to podcasting in a lot of ways. I listen to a lot of his shows, and he gave us this film, man, 25 years ago. They shot in black and white. He sold his comic collection, maxed out his credit cards. Also got an insurance settlement from a car that him and Jay Muse had that flooded out.
Yes.
Helped finance this film and make this little gem of a movie that he shot at night while the store was closed that he worked at, and made it with his friends.
Yeah. And in fact, he didn't even want to move the car. That's why it flooded.
Well, Jason warned him, said, "Hey, the car." He's like, "Oh, fuck it, I'm not going to move the car." Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, he didn't trust Jason a lot. And he's like, I'm not going to move the car. It's not going to be that bad. And then floods ended up helping him fund the movie.
Yeah. And 24 minutes into the show, I should warn people that this might be one of our most cuss word episodes ever because Clerks has a lot of cuss words in it.
It really does.
But, you know, and that's the thing I like. I think that when I saw Clerks in 94, I probably saw it late 94, early 95. Because this movie premiered at Sundance Film Festival. And it trickled out into theaters. Because back then, independent film was kind of not a new thing, but a new thing, if that makes sense. You know, and it's not like now with the internet where you hear about films. So the movie trickled out into theaters over time. It played film festivals and it slowly hit movie theaters. And I remember I went downtown to see this at the Angelica Film Center. I saw it in late 95 or early 95 at the theater. And I think this was the first movie that I saw that spoke to me in a different way than science fiction and comics and action movies. And, we didn't really have a lot of comic movies in other than Burton's Batman movies.
Yeah.
And, you know, because here's these guys make a movie with their friends and they're nerdy as fuck, but they like comics, and they talk vulgar, just like we were talking to our friends in high school.
Yeah.
And the movie related to me in a way, and I hadn't even worked in retail yet. So it relates to me even more now that I work in retail. And when I watched it the other day for the podcast, it still holds up really well. It shows its age as far as the black and white and the way it's filmed.
Yeah.
But the movie itself holds up well. So that was my first experience with Clerks. For you guys, when was y'all's first experience with Clerks?
You go first.
I think it was in the early 2000s. I think I caught it whenever my uncle was watching it or something, and I remember bits and pieces. I remember it being black and white, and I remember Dante not wanting to be there, and that's kind of all I really remembered from it. So it was good watching it again because it was a big refresh, almost like a first time, really.
It's funny because everyone always remembers Dante and Jay and Silent Bob, of course, but Randall has some of the best lines in the movie, but no one remembers him because he's the asshole.
Yes.
You know, first time you saw Clerks.
The first time I experienced the movie was during my first job at Blockbuster Video.
Nice.
And we
Perfect.
were...
That's almost fucking too perfect.
Yeah. And that was my first ever job. And we were shooting inventory that day. And inventory would take all night, so we had to, scan all the movies in the store. And we played that movie in the background while we were scanning all these videos, and we were listening to it. And it was like, dude, this movie is saying everything that we experience here in this video store. You know, like, where's your new releases? Well, we have a whole wall that says new releases.
Yes.
You know, it's like, hey, do you have that? You know, customers always ask you have that one movie with that one guy and that certain situation? I'm like, can you be more specific? You know, stuff like that, so yeah, that was my first exposure to Clerks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so Matt sent me a text during the show here saying he has to go pee.
I do.
So you know what? I'm going to leave it on the air while you go pee. We're going to talk about you going.
I'll be quick. I'm going to be quick.
Just go pee. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought about that and just taking off, and you'd be like, where the hell is he going?
Yeah, we'll just make fun of you like he's going to pee and stuff. And so Matt's on it. Matt's on it.
Maybe we should have kept him there, and I kept him make hissing noises all the whole.
And then, but this is awkward.
Yeah, I mean, that was my exposure to the movie. I remember it's like, why is it shot in black and white?
Yeah.
And a friend of mine explained to me, well, it's because they had to keep the budget low, and they had to shoot real film and all that stuff too, and they didn't have digital technology back then.
Right.
And and my parents used to own a convenience store. Yeah, I know, Asian stereotype, but actually during that time they still owned a convenience store.
Yeah.
And I could relate. I mean, you had kids that for real try to buy cigarettes, and they're like underage and stuff like that.
Like the milkmaid. I heard that's like a real thing even nowadays in convenience stores. Yeah.
Yeah, the milkmaid, like searching for the best possible. I'm a milkmaid.
Yeah. Which was actually Kevin Smith's mom played the milkmaid.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty interesting. And and I just remember, as you said, the dialogue. This is the same exact stuff that I would talk about.
Yeah. And it's vulgar as hell, but it's real talk, and I think that's why people relate to it. Guys sit around and they talk about sex, and girls do too, and they talk about crazy shit that just off the wall. And I think that's what Kevin Smith has always been great about in the 25 years we've
Him
had
and Tarantino.
is that they don't bullshit around the thing. Did you have a good pee?
I did. I almost felt like I was trying not to do a Tom Hanks pee, you know.
Okay, just making sure you were good. Okay, and Kevin's films have always, they don't bullshit. They tell you straight up. His dialogue has always been very natural and very come across like friends talking to each other, and I think that's why Clerks is so relatable, and why it works so well in those levels.
Yeah, and and there are some copycat filmmakers that try to emulate the same thing, and the one key thing that copycat writers, screenwriters try to do when they try to emulate it is that with Kevin Smith's dialogue, the way his characters talk, there's always some kind of conflict. There's always like some kind of tension between the characters.
Like arguing over Return of the Jedi.
It's argumentative, right? But if it's like not if it's if it's the same dialogue but we just agree with each other, that's not very interesting, right? Yeah. But if it's dialogue like, oh, I disagree with that, and then he was like, I disagree that about the contractors thing, and
yeah, but all the contractors, they died.
Yeah. So
it's funny you talk about trying to replicate it. Wasn't there a casting that was done where they tried to basically make another Clerks with Jim Brewer?
Oh,
and
that was a pilot.
That was a pilot.
That was a pilot for Clerks. Yeah.
They almost turned it into a TV show. Yeah.
Okay.
And
I saw a clip of that.
There was an animated spinoff, of course, from Clerks.
I heard it was pretty good.
Yeah, it ran for a few episodes and
6.
Yeah. And I actually have that somewhere on DVD too, believe it or not.
Yeah, and, I hear it's pretty good because Kevin Smith wrote it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And so I lost my train of thought.
Yeah, I mean we're just talking about conflict and the conversations that happen in the retail world, and I think these are.
You ever worked in a convenience store?
I've sold to people that work in convenience stores.
Oh, yeah, you used to be a... Yeah.
There's all kinds of
distributor.
Have you met a jizz mopper before?
No.
That's the funny part about that when they're talking about jizz mopping, and the guy walks up there and he's buying Windex, and it's funny, who that is? It's Walt Flanagan, who runs Kevin Smith's comic book store now.
Really?
And from Comic Man, that's I
guess
Kevin,
I didn't recognize
everyone
him.
in this movie is Kevin's friends. Scott Mosier, he plays the guy who's like, oh, what's up, man? He produced the film, and he directed the Grinch movie. It's in theaters right now.
Did he really?
Yeah, he's going on to be an animated director, Scott Mosier. Brian Johnson is in this movie. He's one of the hockey players. Of course, Dante, the guys who played Brian O'Halloran and the guy who plays Randall, are good friends of his.
Yeah.
Of course, Jason Mewes. We were introduced to Jay and Silent Bob in this movie, which is they have some of the funniest moments, in the film, which they've become his iconic characters. And, he's over there, Jay, saying all kinds of crazy shit to Silent Bob. He's just smoking, and he's all like, I don't even remember exactly.
Oh, he's like, let me get down and suck you. I'm not sucking you, you faggot. And then the girl comes up to him, and he's like, yeah, what's up?
Yeah, Jason Mewes is really good in this movie. Yeah. He plays himself, but himself is who he should be in the movie, and he has some of the funniest moments. And then they introduce the Russian guy, and he's like, did he just say "suck my cock"?
That is that is the funniest part of the movie for me.
It's hilarious.
And in fact, he didn't know a lick of German, and at first the idea was to speak in made up German words, but then they just sound like you have an accent. And he's like, I like you to suck my cock, berserker. And he's like, I want you to make fuck, berserker. And then she's like, did he say make fuck? And then it ends right there. And I'm like, that is freaking hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Borat, do sex.
What's funny is they shot all this at night because Kevin worked in the store, which he now owns the store. He bought it because it was going to close down. And so the shutters are closed, and they did that to explain why it's dark, because they didn't know how else to write that into the script. So they put gum in the shutters, and he does the shoe polish that I assure you were open. And so they shot at night. Kevin would work all day long. They would shoot at night for like 21 straight days. The only scene they shot during the daytime is the hockey scene where they all go on the roof to hockey.
Yes.
Because they only had so many lights. And, if you look at the scenes that are outside where Randall's walking, those are shot early in the morning. when he walks in front of the store before the other stores open. Mm-hmm. And when Jay and Silent Bob are outside, it's all dark with one light set up because they didn't have a lot. But they didn't have enough light to film the hockey scene, so they were able to get permission from the owner to film on the roof of the hockey scene.
Yeah.
And but it's pretty amazing that he did this, and they only had a few cameras, and they put it all together, and they shot this movie over 3 or 4 weeks. And it went on to be a Sundance Film winner and give us Kevin Smith in his career now that he's had as a director.
Yeah.
Even if he's not making the best stuff anymore, he changed the course of film for geeks and nerds and people like us to show that you could do anything. And he's made a living off of it, being a very motivational guy that shows you that put your mind to it, you can do anything, And as he was a nobody, he turned into somebody by just making a film about his friends hanging out in a convenience store. And now that I work in retail, I totally relate to this movie. I remember working in the dairy department, and people would come look through milk and eggs and stuff, and I'm like, fucking put the eggs down. It's like, leave them alone. There's nothing wrong with them. I've seen that happen. People looking at the eggs and opening cartons before and stuff.
Well, yeah. I understandably, I've bought eggs without checking.
Yeah.
And I've had a couple of cracked eggs.
Been disappointed here and there.
Yeah. So, yeah.
So, another funny joke in the movie, and it's always been an in joke in Kevin's films. Matt, Jackie hasn't told you 37, has she?
Oh, no. She hasn't told me 37. Could have been 38. That was a funny part in the movie.
I'm telling Jackie didn't listen to this.
It's like 38. 37. No, 37, sorry.
Going to go on Facebook. Hey, man, Matt's dogging you, man. No.
And then, of course, Randall, when he's reading the porn videos off but he's such a nice guy. The guy plays Randall. He didn't want to do it in front of so you watch the way it's cut.
The girl
you watch the way it's cut. At first, it looks like they're in the same room, and it cuts to Randall's face. He actually filmed that without her in the room because he's like, I'm not reading this in front of a little girl. So what they did was, and they filmed the little girl and the mom separately, and they read them because there was somebody who would read them. So their reactions are genuine. They're like, and I thought that was genius editing put together on this film to make it look like Randall's in the room reading into it. But Randall the guy who plays Randall, God, I got to look at his name. He couldn't do it. And he's like, no, I'm not reading that in front of a young girl. It's not right.
Yeah.
Jeff Anderson. That's
Jeff
right.
Anderson.
Yeah.
Which I think Jeff Anderson's still the one who didn't want to do Clerks 3.
He is. Yeah, he's the one that didn't want to do it.
He does some voice work and he does some like TV work and stuff like that. But Kevin never revealed which actor would do Clerks 3. But Brian O'Halloran pretty much said on his Instagram, Facebook that he was down for it. And of course we know Jason was and everyone else. So everyone pretty much knows it was it was Anderson didn't want to do Clerks 3. But it's just like, so that's why Kevin scrapped it and we're getting Jay and Silent Bob reboot instead.
Yeah.
It's a shame because Clerks 2 was actually really good too. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to talk too much about Clerks 2 because it might be an episode one day.
It could.
But it's got the wonderful Rosario Dawson in it. When you hear Rosario Dawson talk about ass to mouth, you listen.
Yes.
You start listening.
That's what you do.
And one thing I really like about Clerks 2 is when I remember watching it is all the comic and the Star Wars references. And and some people have given Kevin Smith credit for some of the Star Wars renaissance through this movie. And I don't, even as a Star Wars and a Kevin Smith fan, I don't always agree with that because I do think the Star Wars renaissance was more owed to Timothy Zahn's novels and the action figures coming back out in the 90s and the Dark Horse comics. But I think Kevin Smith was very vocal in letting people know, hey, I'm a Star Wars fan. Then a couple years later in Mallrats, he puts more Star Wars references in there. Yeah, so I think he did help in his own way, but I don't know if I would credit Clerks with making the Star Wars Renaissance happen. But it was kind of cool to see, hey, here's a director that really likes Star Wars, and he's the same age as all of us. Holy shit, And I think that's what made Clerks speak to me, too, at the time it came out.
He loved comic book movies so much. It's like Kevin Smith once talked about a job that he had. It was his first day working at this pizza place, and Batman was coming out, so he quit his job so he could go see Batman.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. Dedicated.
Well, and he said before that Richard Linklater's Slacker is the reason he wanted to make a movie and be a director, and Batman. He said Batman, but yet he said he'll never do a comic movie. You know, Kevin Smith's been asked many times. In fact, he wrote the script for Superman Lives that was almost directed by Tim Burton. But he said before he's so personal to the stuff that he doesn't ever want to direct it because he feels he can never do the justice because he understands the expectations people have for those movies.
Yeah, I think, and this is a message to you, Kevin. All right, Kevin, just do something that you haven't done before. I know you've got your feet wet with directing the TV Supergirl episodes and The Flash and stuff like that, but do it, man. Fear is the number one factor, and I think that's going to make a great movie out of you. So
I think so too.
Yeah, I mean, like J.J. Abrams has said that, you know, he was afraid to do Star Wars.
Yeah,
and look what came out of it. I mean, is it the highest grossing Star Wars movie ever?
It's the highest grossing movie of all time.
Oh, is it? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's the number one movie of all time. Not worldwide, but domestically.
Domestically, okay.
Yeah.
And he had to balance it between being a fan and, you know, contributing to the lore.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think Kevin will do fine.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not very many properties that he can take that are like, you know, like Star Wars. I mean, superhero movies, it's like, it's either good or it's good.
He wouldn't probably be able to have all the amount of language that he has in this.
Oh.
No,
this movie was originally given to NC-17.
Him and his gay jokes.
Yeah, and they went and pled with the MPAA to get it down to R because they showed they
pleading. They got O.J. Simpson's lawyer.
Did they?
To challenge the
because there's no violence in it. It's just dialogue, and it's vulgar dialogue, yes, but they made a good point when they pled to the MPAA that, like, look, hey, we're not showing any nudity. There's no violence. It's just talk. You know, it's how people talk. And I guess they were able to convince the MPAA board, like, okay, you know, we'll make it a rated R film.
Yeah.
And
because very few theaters in the U.S. at the time showed NC-17.
Even now.
Yeah, it would have flopped.
You know, that's why you never see movies NC-17 anymore, you know. And, yeah, I mean, the movie has a lot of heavy dialogue in it, but it still doesn't have as many F words as, like, even some of Tarantino's stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's got a lot, but not to that extreme.
Yeah, soundtrack costs more than the movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's Soul Asylum, Alice in Chains.
The soundtrack was made afterwards.
Well, and then he agreed to direct the Soul Asylum music video to tie in the movie to help, basically for free, to help cover some of the costs for the soundtrack. You know, so Kevin Smith basically didn't even get paid to direct the Soul Asylum music video.
Yeah. Yeah, I pretty much could say all I could say about Clerks. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really have a specific favorite scene. Only just the constant, the way they talk to each other.
About the necrophiliac scene.
Oh no!
No,
it did almost have a different ending. You know,
yes.
they shot a different ending, and it's actually on the DVDs and Blu-rays
based off of Dante's speech,
where a robber comes in and kills Dante and Randall, and they tested
just
it with
Dante.
Or was it just Dante?
Just Dante?
And that's right, Randall finds him.
Yeah.
And they tested it with audiences, but audiences didn't like it. They're like, this is a funny movie. Why would you end it like that?
Yeah.
Even the studio heads were like, no. Well, no, the studio... And so they, of course, gave us the ending we have now where Randall and Dante go home for the day finally after working all day long.
Yeah.
And do you guys have a favorite Kevin Smith film? I mean, I personally really like Mallrats. I like it.
Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
I do like that one too.
Dogma.
Yeah. We did Dogma on the show.
Yeah, we did.
Pre-Evil Dr. Tran days.
Yeah.
And, that was
Dogma can get heavy.
Yeah.
It really can. Yeah. It was funny stories.
So controversial, that movie, too. Not because of with the audience, but more with the Catholic Church. Mm-hmm. You know?
And
buddy, Christ.
And I'm looking forward to Jay and Silent Bob reboot. I like the characters enough that I want to see where they've been 20 years later. I think it'll be interesting to revisit them. Mm-hmm. And having met Jason Mewes before and hung out with him a little bit, he's a really, really cool guy, very charismatic, and he's very camera shy. It was really hard for him to get used to being in front of the camera, they said, when filming Clerks. And, you know, Silent Bob, though, isn't so heavy anymore. He's Skinny Bob now.
Yeah, now he's Skinny Bob.
Kevin's lost some weight and everything. And but Kevin Smith's one of those directors I will pretty much watch anything he does. Even though I still haven't seen Tusk. I started watching it, but I couldn't get into it. You know, I did make it all the way through Yoga Hosers. But see, the thing with Yoga Hosers is, even though it's not very good, I get what he was trying to do with it. he was just trying to make a fun stoner movie. You're supposed to be really high when you watch Yoga Hosers. So I guess I understood what he was trying to do with it. With Tusk, I'm not trying to. I don't know what he was trying to do with it.
Yeah.
Make some weird fucked up shit. You know.
Yeah.
So and I think that's
Did
the
you ever
difference.
see Red State?
I've watched Red State once, and it's funny. I don't remember it. Like I need to rewatch it. I remember it being pretty decent.
Yeah.
You know. So I need to go rewatch it and. But I like almost everything. Even Chasing Amy, you know, it's much more of a love story, but it's a good movie. It's really well done film, you know. And
I think he was more recognized for Finding Amy,
in Chasing Amy.
Yeah, Chasing Amy, and than any other film that he had done.
Yeah, he won a lot of recognition for that. Mm-hmm. And then we got Clerks 2, and we'll get more from him. You know, maybe James Bob reboot will do well enough that we can convince Jeff Anderson to come do Clerks 3.
The 9 cutscenes, the 9 cutscenes based off of Dante's.
Oh, you mean it has 9 title cards in the movie?
Cards.
Yeah. It's broke up into 9 pieces. The film, yeah.
That was interesting. The Divine Comedy.
Yeah. So, but Clerks, good movie. Still holds up 25 years later. It gave us Kevin Smith, and it's probably the reason I'm sitting here podcasting. I know it's the reason you are podcasting. Well, Matt's probably the reason Matt's podcasting is because Mark drug him over here and said, "Come do a fucking podcast, man."
Like,
I do it to vent my thoughts.
That's right.
Yes.
The vent thoughts.
Yeah.
Vent thoughts.
Yeah, because it's like my friends are nerdy, but they're just not in it as deep as I am. Maybe because they have families, and I have a lot of free time on my hands, so I need to like get it out of my brain so I can like kind of decompress from it.
Yeah,
you know?
It is an outlet to
Yeah.
get out our nerdy thoughts.
Yeah.
So we're ready to do some news?
I'm ready.
I got some news. I did some news. Stephen King's The Stand is coming to CBS All Access as a 10-part series, apparently.
Will it be faithful?
Yeah, I mean, you know, the miniseries that aired many years ago now, I remember liking it. I probably can't remember much from it. It's been years since I've seen it.
With Lieutenant Dan?
Yes.
Okay.
And I remember it being very good for television at that time.
It was how many parts?
That was 4, maybe?
That was a few.
4 2-hour movies.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. There was a time that there was the 90s Stephen King miniseries events coming along.
And they've been trying to get The Stand on for years. HBO almost did it a few years ago. Several different Showtime. I think almost any major network has been trying to do it because The Stand is so big. You almost have to do it as a television series. You can't really do it as films. And there seems to be a Stephen King resurgence lately. You know, we have Pet Sematary remake coming out.
Yeah.
A lot of it's probably due to It, even though It was not a very good movie. But
Are you talking about the new
one?
You didn't like it,
dude? That was horrible,
dude. I think you're the only person I know that did not like it.
My wife didn't like it either. She thought it was stupid.
Huh?
We laughed.
Maybe because kids were involved.
We laughed at it more than we were horrified by it. Don't get me started. I could point if I remember. I can point out a lot of wrong things in that movie.
Right, we'll get to that.
There's plot holes left and right in it.
Yeah, I'm sure which will be filled in the sequel.
But
did you see it?
Did I see
It?
Yes,
The
I did.
remake?
What did you think?
I thought the kids cursed too much in it. Honestly, I
Really?
think they overdid it on the cursing.
Oh, okay.
I
never saw it.
I just felt like there's plot holes and it's poorly edited.
Really?
Yeah, there's like 2 or 3 scenes in it that jumps to another scene. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, what happened?
Yeah.
People bought into the hype with it when it came out,
see.
and it became a pop cultural thing to go see it, and people I think were blinded by that pop culture event to go see it.
Was it nostalgia
And
really
I think maybe
it?
it's some of that too, and didn't realize that it's not a very good movie. And it's not a horror. If I'm ranking it out of 10, it's maybe a 6 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
So it leans more because there's some moments in it that are worth watching, like Skarsgård as Pennywise. He's really good. But that's it, So Stephen King, The Stand, come to CBS All Access.
I'm waiting for the Langoliers.
The Langoliers, Tommy Knockers.
We got a little Birds of Prey teaser this week. Did y'all guys watch that?
yes.
Yeah.
Man,
25 seconds.
Yeah, it's only 25 seconds. It flashes all the characters by really quick. We get the
Huntress.
I would
Black Canary.
I would marry Margot Robbie in a second.
Yeah.
You go watch The Wolf of Wall Street and you'll see
Don't
why.
like the new Harley look.
But she just kind of winks at you at the end of the screen and says, "See you soon." And the movie is what, a year away or something. We get a quick
Ewan McGregor.
We get a quick glimpse of Ewan McGregor as Black Mask in there. I kind of like announcement teasers like this. We don't get them very often. Do you remember back when The Dark Knight was coming out? We got that announcement teaser where it was only dialogue and Heath Ledger's laugh and the Batman logo. That was it.
Yeah.
I kind of miss those. I like announcement teasers, like the Ghostbusters announcement teaser. I would like to see studios to go back to more of this. And
well, I mean, I think as far as the movie studios, I think Warner Brothers and Disney are the two best studios when it comes to marketing their movies. They know how to market their movies, And when you look at Universal Studios or Sony Pictures, they spoil their movies in their trailers. I'm like, no, you guys are not learning from the best, Like,
putting it all out there, trying to see if they'll just get interested and come in and watch.
I was like, Sony, was it Sony? I forgot what studio did the last Terminator Genesis movie.
Yeah.
But they spoiled the movie, the big twist in that
the whole
movie.
time. The whole trailer.
The whole trailer spoiled that John Connor was a Terminator. That's a little important to kind of keep under wraps, huh? I'm like, oh my gosh.
We've got some more DC news in a minute, but not yet because it's like big news. Man, this Dune cast continues to be phenomenal. And I'm not even like a Dune guy, but man, Javier Bardem, wow, that guy is one of the best fucking actors working. Oscar Isaacs, who Poe Dameron himself, is going to play one of the leads, Leto. This is shaping up to be.
There was a female name, big female name attached to it.
Oh, I know. I only wrote there two down. Sorry.
Yeah.
But this is really shaping up to be quite a phenomenal looking cast for this science fiction movie. I don't know a lot about Dune other than what I've seen from the old Sting movie and stuff like that, but this could become quite something. It could be the Dune movie that people always wanted.
Dune is one of the touchstones of science fiction novels. It is one of the giants of the science fiction world, and it's like pretty much, how Lord of the Rings is a worldwide read book, and Dune is up there with Lord of the Rings. So
we'll see.
And I don't think any formulas. How Lord of the Rings inspired, the whole elves and dwarves and all those fantasy tropes, but no one has really replicated, those tropes from Dune at all.
I don't think so.
Dune is like its own thing. It can't be replicated. So I'm looking forward to it personally. I've only seen bits and pieces of the 80s one with David Lynch directed it, but
Jeez. Next we have we when we did our Halloween movies, we did a couple of Universal monster classics, and we've talked on the show before about those characters coming back to cinema nowadays, and no one's been able to do it right. We had the Benicio del Toro Wolfman movie from years ago that was terrible. We had the failure of Tom Cruise's The Mummy last year. Well, now Blumhouse Pictures, Jason Blumhouse, who is a subsidiary of Universal, he's going to take it over and reboot it. And he's going to start with The Invisible Man, which is going to be directed by Leigh Whannell, who made Upgrade, which is I haven't seen Upgrade yet, but I've heard a lot of good things about it. And so they're gonna start with The Invisible Man and bring back Universal monsters in a way through Blumhouse Pictures. Blumhouse Pictures has been known for doing a lot of horror stuff lately, and they've been like the go-to horror guys. And as I've said before in past episodes, I think these characters are they're almost 100 years old. They've been making films about them a long time. I think there's room for them in today's world to have these creatures on screen again.
Gotta do it right.
And I was thinking about this a little bit, and we could never figure out why they haven't worked in remakes. And you think back to the originals, The Creature in the Black Lagoon and Dracula and the Wolfman. They're all flawed monsters. They all have there's a reason Frankenstein doesn't want to be a monster, but he doesn't know how. Talbot doesn't want to be the Wolfman, but he doesn't have a choice. The Mummy is searching for his lost love. He's not really trying to do anything wrong. And I think that's what they have to get back to. They have to remember the Invisible Man. It's a science experiment that went bad. He doesn't want to be a monster. And I think if they remember that, to make it about the human element of these characters, we can bring these characters back and make really good films like The Shape of Water did, And so I'm all for it. I think these characters are great, and I want to see some solid Universal remake, or not. I won't even call them remakes, just
I'm not.
modern takes on them.
I'm not looking forward to them. I enjoyed the classic the 30s movies, but and Universal should have gone a different path. They should have done what Disney did, is probably release a classic movie every 7 years, like Disney classics.
7 movies.
Yeah,
every 7 years.
Just making a Halloween event or something.
Right.
This year we're doing Dracula, a nationwide release.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. They could do it digitally. It's not like they have to do it physically anymore.
But if it looks good, you might give it a chance. Invisible Man when it comes out. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, what was the last Invisible Man movie with Kevin Bacon? Right?
Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's whenever he keeps looking at his neighbor from across the apartment.
She had huge
Rona
boobs.
Mitra.
Yeah. And he went over there.
One of the original Tomb Raider models.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
We'll
what
see.
Was it called?
Hollow Man.
Hollow Man.
Yeah.
With Wolfgang Peterson directed it.
Did he? Yeah.
So Wolfgang or Paul Verhoeven?
I think it was Verhoeven.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was a Verhoeven film.
Yeah.
Now you're gonna make me look it up.
Yeah.
Verhoeven.
Was that? What else is on the docket?
Hollow Man. Paul Verhoeven. Yep.
Yeah.
I got one more piece of news, man. We got Matt Reeves started talking about the Batman.
Oh.
He dropped a lot of bombshells. He says it's going to be a North-style movie, multiple rogues gallery, detective-like Batman, which is something, and I've always said this before, as much as I love Nolan's trilogy and I like Burton's films, we've never had, he's supposed to be the world's greatest detective.
A procedural?
Yeah, we've never had that with Batman. And I think it could work really well.
The comics, yes.
Yeah, but not on film.
Right.
And in the animated series we had it, but not on film. I have a lot of faith in Matt Reeves. His Planet of the Apes films were really good.
Yeah.
His
2 and 3.
Yeah. Let Me In was really good. His remake of Let the Right One In.
Yeah, we did that.
I would argue that Cloverfield's actually a pretty decent found footage movie. Cloverfield's not bad.
He did that?
I actually watched it not that long ago, and it holds up actually pretty well. Cloverfield does, for a found footage movie.
Was that me and you or me and
I think
Frank
you and me saw it in theaters.
Yeah,
you, me,
yeah.
and Frank, I think.
Ugh. I saw it in the theaters too. And
I don't like
sick.
those. Yeah, I didn't like it in theaters. I appreciate it more on DVD. It's hard to watch those on the big screen.
Yeah. Someone stabilized it on YouTube.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, they stabilized the entire movie on YouTube.
And and he also pretty much confirmed. Ben Affleck's out. That they finally officially announced that. And I was, I actually didn't have a problem with Affleck in the role. He
Wasn't bad.
he did what he did for it. They seem like they're going to go younger. 25 to 30ish. People forget. Everyone thinks, well, Christian Bale was only like 31 when he took on Batman Begins. He was young.
Yeah.
And and he pretty much confirmed that it's going to be a standalone film. It seems that DC is going that route because Patty Jenkins has even said as much with Wonder Woman 1984 that it's going to be kind of a standalone film. And I think this is smart for DC to stop trying to catch up to Marvel. Don't create a universe. Just make singular good movies that maybe are loosely tied, because Aquaman obviously branched off of Justice League and Wonder Woman also, but yet not tied so much that you're trying to build this universe and get lost in it.
Yeah.
Focus on making good movies. And, I read a lot of arguments on the internet that do we need another Batman movie? Yes, you do. That's the touchstone character of Warner Brothers and DC. It's either Superman or Batman. You have to have one of those two on screen every few years if you're going to make these work. I really do believe that.
I'm crossing my fingers for Kingdom Come live action.
Yeah, one day.
Yeah. One day.
So, what do you guys think about the Batman? I mean, I love Batman. It's my favorite comic book character of all time. I'm always will watch another Batman film.
With Matt Reeves at the helm, I'm looking forward to it. And I rewatched War of the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, it's really good.
Man, I agree with you. That is, my opinion is I hated Planet of the Apes when I was a kid because,
that's one of my, other than Star Wars, it might be my second favorite franchise of all time.
Yeah, and then the reboot series turned me around on it.
Yeah.
Dawn and War. I think War is my favorite out of the two.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And
I like the original.
yeah.
I love the originals. I like the reboot too. I don't even hate on the Mark Wahlberg film. There's things in that they did right, but then it's just the ending.
Paws off me.
The ending is so bad, But no, I'm with you, Matt Reeves. Man, I think he's going to pull off a good Batman
the
film.
special effects are so amazing in that.
Yeah, and when he started talking about multiple rogues gallery, man, I started like, I want to see
Calendar Man.
Hey, if it's gonna be a noir style, man, a really like a true crime ridden Penguin, things like that, you know,
Usual Suspects.
Yeah.
Type.
You know, the Riddler. You know, man, I think Reeves is gonna make something really, really unique and really cool, and I think it'll be, and I think that's the way to go with it. I think you can't do what Nolan did. You have to do your own thing and make it a unique experience to make Batman different on the big screen, which is what Nolan did in 2005. He brought a different take to Batman we hadn't seen before.
It was exciting.
And
it made you care about Bruce Wayne, not the Batman.
And
so
you know, and I think that's why Matt Reeves came in and they took a step back and they did away with Ben Affleck's script and they said, look, we really need to focus on this, and they didn't rush it. You know, it was supposed to be in theaters this year, and they didn't rush it. They've taken the time with it, and they look like they're going to start cast. In his interview the other day, he said casting starts very soon. Yeah. So I imagine in the next several weeks we'll start hearing some things.
Is the Batgirl movie still on slate?
Last I heard, I think Whedon backed out, but it's still on slate.
Show.
No, it was
going to be
that's Batwoman TV show.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. But no, Josh Whedon was connected to the Batgirl movie, and I haven't heard anything else in a while.
Word on the grapevine that Jenkins had something to do with his firing.
Hey, you know, because if it's Whedon, it will just be a bunch of one-liners.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Bunch of cheesy one-liners too.
Yeah.
Like back to back to back to back, and not even spacing them out.
But that's all the news I got. Unless anybody else brought anything to the table,
I don't personally.
But so some good news. So let's preview next week's movie. We're gonna we're doing a guilty pleasure pick of Matt's.
Yes.
Not one that I would normally probably ever cover in like 1,000 episodes. No, just kidding.
I just coughed.
But
no,
we're gonna make fun of Angelina Jolie and Nick Cage's hair in this movie.
Both of them, man.
We're going to talk Gone in 60 Seconds.
She's in that movie?
Yeah, she's Sway.
Yeah.
She plays Sway in that movie.
So we're going to talk Gone in 60 Seconds.
Time it took you to buy your ticket. 3.2 minutes. Time it took you to get your popcorn. 2.5 minutes. Time it took them.
Well, let's go.
To steal your car. Hello, ladies. 60 seconds.
Move, go.
Come on, Sway, baby, work your magic. Hold on, I know you ain't gonna do what I think you're gonna do.
Stop!
You're gonna have to go old school. A day to shop, a day to prep. Surprise attack.
Nice.
Little trick I learned in the car thief retirement home.
By the time the first car's reported stolen,
All this.
your ship set sail. We do this, we do it my way.
Yours was a sucker for a redhead.
You break it, you buy it, my friend. Okay, let's ride.
Gone in 60 seconds.
What do you think is more exciting, having sex or stealing cars?
Having sex. While boosting cars.
That's a good line.
Which is a remake of a 1967-68 film.
Yeah.
If I remember right, it's a heist movie, and it's a fun movie, but it's pretty pedestrian movie. Yeah. I remember seeing it.
The last great Cage movie.
Yeah, it might be.
Could be.
Well, I don't know. National
There's
Treasure,
so many
maybe.
good quotes. I mean, Dimitri, he's like, because if I don't deliver like I said I would, I look like an
Only
asshole.
you remember those quotes.
Do I look like an asshole?
And,
yeah, you do.
So So we're going to talk this. Matt, you picked this movie. I know it's a big favorite of yours, and it's kind of a product of your age and your generation.
Yeah.
And personally, if I'm picking a guilty pleasure Nick Cage film, I'm probably going to pick Con Air.
Yeah.
But, because I love Con Air, if Hollywood ever remakes Con Air, I'm boycotting Hollywood. No, just kidding. But going in 60 Seconds, man.
Gone in 60 Seconds, man. It's got the car. It's got.
Is there a
some
sexual
cheesy-
connection? I feel like there's probably you did something while watching this movie. I don't know why. I know you because you're you get that look in your face.
No, there's not. There's no really sexy scenes in here.
But this was
really.
Angelina during her super hot years.
Yeah.
I know that when she was just
This is definitely a different look for her.
when she would just come on. Yeah, doesn't she have kind of weird dread looking hair? In
Yeah,
this, if
she's
I remember
got
right?
dreadlocks and it's blonde and
Nick Cage has highlights. We're going to talk
Yeah, he's got
highlights. Did
highlights.
you ever have highlights?
I did because I wanted blonde highlights because everyone had them in school and my mom was like, no, you're not getting them. And so I got my dad to buy me this stuff called lightening gel, which lightened your hair over time, but I couldn't wait. So I would put it in my hair and then I'd dry it and then I'd wash and then put it back in my hair and then dry my hair, blow dry it, and I kept doing it over and over and over again and my hair turned orange. It looked like Woody Woodpecker.
I had some highlights once too.
My
so I
hair was so black, it turned to bleach black.
Bleach black.
So we will talk going in 60 seconds on next week's episode, and we're probably gonna do a little top 5 list. Maybe our favorite car chases in movies.
Yes.
To add
That
to
would
it.
be interesting. That would be
Because-
good.
To add to that
To
episode?
add to
okay.
I think that's going to be.
I got some.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a good one.
Yeah,
so that'll be on next week's episode. And as always, go to the rebelradiopodcast.com for all episodes. We're on all apps, of course. Follow us on Twitter at Rebel Radio Pod, Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff. You can follow me at I Gather Speed on Twitter if you want, even though I'm not very interesting on there. I try to be witty, but I don't know how to be.
Like, I don't know.
And, if you guys want to say your Twitters, you can.
Yes, I'm
Yeah.
at Electric Monkey with 2 E's after the Y _1.
And I'm at Evil Dr. Tran on Twitter.
Yeah.
And you could also see me post some stuff sometimes on the Facebook, the Rebel Radio Facebook.
Yeah, if you go to our Facebook group, we also have a group which is connected on the Facebook page, and the group is where we kind of get more conversations going and try to do some talk on the page. I usually just post links to the show and stuff, but the group is where I try to get people to be interactive with us. You can talk to us. We won't bite. But thank you as always for listening. We do appreciate it. Until next time, this has been Mark.
This has been Matt.
This is Evil.
Yeah, he just said this is evil. He didn't finish. I was like, oh, okay. But
No, I finished.
yeah. Thank you as always for listening. Remember, just go there and do it.
Do it.
Hey, you're listening to Rebel Radio Podcast, and this is Jay Muse. Snooch to the nooch. Go there and do it.
This is James O'Barr on Rebel Radio. Thanks for listening.